Welcome, everybody, to this regular meeting of the Grand Haven City Council for November 3rd, 2025. Marie, would you please call the roll?
Fritz,
Here.
Lowe,
Here.
McLaughlin,
Here.
Manetza.
Here. We don't have a pastor here for the invocation, but if you'd please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We have no appointments or reappointments this evening. That brings us to the approval of consent and regular agendas. Could I get a motion?
So moved.
In support.
Motion by Lowe. Not sure who was first over here.
Give it to Kevin.
Second by Fritz. Any changes or anything you want to do with the agenda?
Yes, Your Honor, I'd like to move that we move item 14C and E of new business to the consent agenda.
Is there a second for that?
Second.
Motion by Lowe, second by McLaughlin to move items 14C and E to the consent agenda from new business.
Why not? Sure.
Would you please call the roll?
Lowe,
Yes.
McLaughlin,
Yes.
Fritz,
Yes.
Manetza.
No.
This passes.
Okay. So we've amended the agendas. Any other changes? Okay, then would you please call the roll on the approval?
Lowe,
Yes.
Fritz,
Yes.
McLaughlin,
Yes.
Manetza.
Yes. We don't have a work session to continue, but I hope you all had a chance to get a piece of cake because we had a reception for council members Lowe and McLaughlin due to this being their last meeting. Brings us to a presentation. Brings us to our first call to the audience. At this time, members of the audience may address council on any item, whether on the agenda or not. Those addressing council are asked to provide their name and address and will be limited to 3 minutes of speaking time. Council will hear all comments for future consideration, will not have a response at this time. Those not physically present who would like to call in may dial 616-935-3203. And I would note that there are no public hearings this evening, so this is your only chance to address council before we take action on our agenda items. So who would like to address council? Come to the podium, name and address, and tell us what you think.
My name's Zeb Boskul. I live at 1841 Waverly. I have 3 different things that are on my mind and my wife's mind. One of which is the littering at Mulligan's Hollow has gotten obscene. I pick it up frequently, but I mean, it really shouldn't be my job to pick it up. There needs to be a camera and no littering signs, and maybe some no loitering signs, or maybe a combination of the words. Anyhow, the other one is the spraying of pesticides in Mulligan's Hollow needs to be addressed. There's a soil fertility issue. There's not a poison issue. There's no need to poison the woods. I understand that it's a method of doing so, but I don't think it's the proper method, and there are other ways to deal with that. And then thirdly, Gidley Bridge on Waverly. The speeding is pretty out of hand. The police sit there, but by the time they get up the hill, it is they've slowed down, I think, enough that the police don't bother with them. But if we could get one of those digital signs, that would be a fantastic thing and really help, I think, just slow people down coming into town too, because people are doing 45, 50 through there, and it's a 25, and I have kids, and I'd really prefer they not, accidentally get smoked by a car. So that's it.
All right, well, thank you. Who else would like to address council?
Jim Hagan, 400 Lake. I'd just like to express my appreciation to the two council members who've been here for the last 4 years. You've done a great job. I really appreciate you guys taking on some difficult issues, such as the underfunded pension plan and getting it changed. Also, the excellent work that's been done with the pro formas and the East End, and I know there's numerous other things, but I just wanted to thank you on behalf of myself and all the other community members who appreciate your hard work. Thanks.
Thanks, Jim.
Thank you, Jim.
Thanks, Jim.
Hello, my name is Chris Roberts, and I live at 1625 Gladys Circle in Grand Haven. And I guess I'm going to be piggybacking on Jim. I have a few words of appreciation for Councilmember Fritz and Mayor Manetza, and especially to outgoing Council Members McLaughlin and Lowe. I think that you have performed very well on behalf of the city of Grand Haven, and I want you to know that it means something to the citizens. I think that I had a few words to say the last time the deer management issue came up a few months ago in these chambers, and a few days afterwards I was thinking how easy it is to step before the city council and complain or try to raise awareness of an issue or talk about a problem that you think needs to be addressed, but it's so much more difficult, so much harder to be in your hot seats. And I think you've been faced with, over your tenures, many difficult decisions, and you've made them honestly and honorably. And I think that's heroic. And I think it's at the core of a functioning democracy. And I don't think at this point in my life I've ever had more of an appreciation for a functioning democracy. So for all of your countless hours spent working on issues that face the city, and all of your sacrifices and all the emotional energy and psychological and mental energy you've spent, it's very much appreciated, and I think you've done right by the city. So thank you for your public service.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Who else would like to address council?
Nobody, not everybody jump at once. I don't know if the mics are they on, or is that? Yes. Is it? Okay, all right. Josh Bruger, 626 Slayton Avenue, here tonight, two parts. I guess I'm here tonight as county commissioner for one part, and that is to say thank you to Kevin and to Karen, whose last night it is tonight. I saw a smile on Karen's face when roll was called. You may have realized that was the last time roll was going to be called and your name was going to be on it. So thank you both for your service to the community. Service above self. That's what you guys are about. So thank you very, very much. And tonight is also the eve of the election. And I'm trying to look at the board here. I don't think Bob's even opposed. So yeah, everybody who's up there, who wants to be up there again, is going to be up there again. But I know that there are also candidates in the wings here tonight. And I have won and lost campaigns, and one of the most encouraging things I've received from people is one of my favorites. It comes from the words of Teddy Roosevelt, one of our former presidents. And many of you may recognize it, but it's called The Man in the Arena. And I think this is appropriate both for candidates and for those who have served, because as it was noted just before this, to serve, you do take some hits every now and again. But it's so, so very worth it. So I'm just going to read this, and that'll be my thank you to you all. It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man or woman in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there is no effort without erring and shortcoming. But who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasm, the great devotions, who spends himself or herself in a worthy cause, who at best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails while daring greatly. so that his place or her place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory or defeat. Teddy Roosevelt. Thank you again for your service, and to the candidates who are running, thank you for stepping up to run.
Thanks, Josh.
Thanks, Josh. Who's next?
Nancy O'Neill, 216 South 2nd Street. I also would like to thank Kevin and Karen for their exemplary service. It wasn't easy, I know. In August, when a DNR representative spoke to you about the deer overpopulation situation in Grand Haven, I made a comment about the dangers of having an uncontrolled deer population in our urban setting. I said, the deer situation in Grand Haven must be managed lest the deer destroy our forests and residential landscapes and endanger people's lives because of collision with vehicles and other surprise encounters, such as one that I will describe. I then told you about a frightening experience I had had one winter when a herd of deer ran directly toward me while I was trying to remove a sheet of ice from my driveway and had nowhere to go. Coincidentally, the day after the DNR representative visit here and the many requests from residents that you initiate a deer management plan, I had this distressing experience. I was sitting in my home on the porch by a window when a frightened deer on my neighbor's driveway jumped up onto my property and landed next to the window where I was sitting. Seeing me through the window, the startled deer then leapt onto the street, onto the front sidewalk, and then directly into 2nd Street, just as a car was coming up the hill. Fortunately, the startled driver reacted quickly and put on the brake, stopped the car in time to avoid a collision with the deer. The deer then ran across the street to a wooded area behind the apartment building across the street, where deer reside, 2 blocks from downtown. Who will be held responsible if someone is injured or dies because of a collision with a deer in our residential areas? You can help prevent such a tragedy by enacting an enlightened deer management plan. Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy. Who else would like to speak?
Just listen. Oh, Rich Clapp, 217 Grand Avenue. Just listening to that story. I've had my own problems with deer getting hit by cars on Grand Avenue in front of my house, and they stumble in. I've had 2 stumble into my backyard and subsequently pass on. And so I called. I called the city. I called Public Works, and they said unless it's in the road, we can't come clean up the deer. So, very unfortunately, I had to just pick up the deer out of my backyard, and I had to, the garbage was coming the next day. I had to put it in the garbage can. I didn't want to do that, but that's all I had to do. So, there is no policy, it seems, for if a deer dies on your property, what do you do with it? Do you just throw it in the road? No, I'm not going to do that. It's irresponsible. But, you know, we should have, maybe Public Works should be able to come pick that deer up if we have a need. Thank you.
Thanks, Rick. Who else would like to address council? Anyone? There will be another opportunity to address council at the end of the meeting, but if you'd like to speak before we take action on our agenda items, now would be the time. Okay. Going once. All right, thank you, and we will move on. Brings us to a Harbor Island update presentation with Derek Gatos. Derek?
Good evening, Your Honor, council members. Derek Gatos, Project Management Director for the city. We have an update for you from HDR. Well, HDR has put together an update for you ahead of this week's town hall. And so Laura Zweida should be on here. There she is. Laura will take you through the presentations, and I'll be here to answer any questions as well at the end.
All right, welcome.
Hello, is it my turn?
It's your turn.
Yeah, we're waiting.
Okay, I need to get access to the presentation.
We're waiting for the magic of technology.
You should be able to access it, Laura. We just authorized you to present.
Okay,
There you go.
can you see it?
Yes.
Okay. Well, thank you for having me tonight. The presentation today will give an update on Harbor Island.
Laura,
See?
can you speak up a little? It's hard to hear. We have the volume all the way up, but we can't hear you very well.
Okay, is this better?
No.
No? Can you?
No? Okay,
It's really soft.
okay, let me see if I can. Okay, is this better?
About the same.
About the same. I don't know what I can do. Hold on, let me try to figure
You
out.
have to use your outside voice.
I'm trying to do my my outside voice here. Hold on. We'll see if I can do both. Is this?
Well, that's different.
Yeah, that's good.
Not better. Not better.
Okay.
Reverb's working good.
If I can, just give me a minute.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we can hear you, it's just really soft, so
I think,
let's just go ahead.
Slides.
yeah, I think we'll have to move on here, but if you can get rid of
Okay.
the echo, that'd be nice.
I'm trying to.
All right, let's just do the best we can here.
now it's muted.
Oh, now you're muted.
Okay. I can't. It's
No, that's worse.
Laura, I think it's using your laptop, not the phone.
yeah. Okay, I'm gonna try here to move really quick, and get on my headset. So sorry about that. I'll talk as we do this.
Okay, well, we can hear you well enough if we need to, so just carry on.
Yes.
Okay. See here. So the update I'm going to give today is on the coal pile project. If you noticed in the last few months, we have been busy with the coal pile project. It is complete now, and the contractor is off the site. We finalized the report, and now we'll be submitting it to Eagle to get the final approval. Once we get the approval from Eagle, then we will consider this part of the project complete according to the work plan. This is some pictures of the completed cleanup of the former coal pile area. And there was about 11 acres where the coal and the coal impacted soils from the 11 acre were transported to a landfill. And like I said, the next step is submit the report to Eagle. We have updated the PFAS roadmap. If you recall, the old roadmap had the little car kind of where the assess. So now we're planning. We will be installing some monitoring wells and doing more samplings related to the PFAS. So we're moving forward with this roadmap. Since I was here last time and since we updated the community, we've completed 3 required reports. We just submitted, actually we submitted the second quarter 2025 groundwater monitoring report. Just 2 days ago, we submitted the third quarter groundwater monitoring report. Also the semi-annual remedy selection report. This is a federal requirement, and that was the end of July that we submitted it, and it's essentially letting the EPA know how we're progressing towards selecting a remedy. And then the inspection report, where our engineer would come on site and make sure that the Unit 3AB is not going to the integrity of the impoundment meets the requirement. Thursday, we have the upcoming town hall, 6:30 to 8 at the Central Park Place. Encourage everybody in the community to come. We're going to have poster boards and stations to describe the project if you're not familiar with it, or describe the progress that we have. We can answer any questions that the community may have. Our subject matter experts will be there. If you have questions about the CCR, about the coal pile, or about the PFAS. Any questions?
All right, thanks, Laura.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
We, just a preview of the town hall coming up on Thursday. There can be a lot more new information that you'll see and the public will see about a report that was submitted last year in August called the Assessment of Corrective Measures. And it gives the big outline of kind of what we could have to or might be required to remediate the island. And so Laura and HDR's worked really hard to put together some pictures on these poster boards that they'll show us kind of ideas of what remediation could look like. The good, the bad, and the indifferent, right? So we don't know where we're going, but we're getting to the point where we're showing these, or we'll be able to show what a site might look like to remediate. Over the next 6 months, we're going to be beginning a lot of information in our current collection plan or data collection plan to find those results, what can actually happen, right? We got all the data pretty much. There's a couple of slices we have to do left, but now we'll start, Laura and her crew will start putting together plans that we hope would be viable for Eagle to permit, and something that we can now sit down and discuss, not now at the council level, but at the public level as well. So we're getting there. Probably about second quarter of next year, I think we'll be at that point and having the big picture remediation plans being laid out. So, sorry, Kevin and Karen, that 4 years we hadn't solved and gotten to that point, but we're working diligently for that.
Not easy working with the federal and state government.
Yes. Yes, and I say that all with the context of, we hope that Eagle will allow us, the permitting process for some of these things will go smoothly and not adversely. Because there are some permits we'll need to have, and we've already submitted for all the way back in, I think, August. As soon as August, we still don't have those permits to move forward with some of these things, so yeah. Assuming that, but.
All right, any questions for Derek?
No.
Or for Laura?
Thanks, Derek. I appreciate it a lot. It's going to be a long time coming. We're doing good. You can't fix things that's happened over 50 years, 60 years ago, so we're just going to take time. Get it right the first time. That's all we
Yeah.
got to do. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
we
you.
knew when we started this that we wanted this cohesive effort that would tackle the coal and the PFAS, and that's what we had. And we knew that we would not be done or even into, too far along when we would be done with our terms. But we've set the course, so
Yep.
really happy to be there. Great progress. Thank you.
Well, thank you for your support on that.
Yeah, this is quite a
Thank you.
process, and it's going to play out. And I've been looking at this since 2021, and it looks a lot the same, but I'm glad to see some progress. I'm glad the coal pile's cleaned up, and hopefully we don't have to go and dig it up again. I guess,
Yeah, you're right. We hope not. And
okay.
Laura's going to be able to tell us hopefully that answer, within a few months here, hopefully.
Yeah, so you're waiting for a report back from Eagle as to whether we're truly done, or is this a different process
With the coal pile?
with the coal pile, with that 11 acres?
Yeah, so that's we remediated the coal out of it. So once coal is not used for coal burning, it's actually a material that needs to be handled and remediated. So
Right.
once they stop burning it, now it becomes not an asset, but a liability. So
I'm more
we
worried.
believe,
I'm more worried about what might be underneath.
yeah, we haven't addressed that, but we
Okay.
did gain some good knowledge during the process of remediating, especially the stormwater area, on how that was built and may have prevented contamination to go through that area, so
All right.
good stuff.
So then more to come on the 6th. We'll be having a nice town hall. So anybody's got further questions or wants to have direct interaction,
Yep.
come to our town
Please
hall
show
meeting.
up. But we'll make those slides, all the information available
Okay.
after the town hall to the public on our website.
Okay,
All right.
more to come. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Laura.
you. Bye-bye.
All right. We lost our clerk.
That we did. We can cover it.
Okay, well, that brings us to our consent agenda. Would Maria like to read the consent agenda?
Do you want me to
Maybe.
read it, or do you
He's going to try.
want me to go? Okay. So this is to approve the regular council meeting minutes for October 20th, 2025, to approve the bills memo in the amount of $1,127,505.97, approve the 2011 Public Act 152 requirements by adopting the annual exemption option for the medical benefit year of January 1st, 2026 through December 31st, 2026. Approve a permanent traffic control order for the 400 block of Grant Street. And then accept the proposal from Abbenmarsh of Benton Harbor, Michigan, in the budgeted amount of $26,500 to provide engineering services for the 2025-2026 street resurfacing program. And to approve the professional services agreement from Abbenmarsh of Benton Harbor, Michigan, for the preliminary engineering and survey services for the 7th Street reconstruction project.
Motion?
So moved?
Second.
Motion by Lowe, second by McLaughlin. Anyone have any comments on any item on the consent agenda?
Only one thing I want to say is on the one we changed over from the 7th construction, after looking at that, I see that there's going to be some parking spaces removed. Did we talk to all the business owners, especially from Washington Street north on the east side? It looks like there's going to be no parking on that side.
So those are the plans that were formally crafted in conjunction with the businesses along that corridor, but as we finalize engineering, we'll revisit those plans with the businesses.
Okay, I just want to make sure they get their voice in on there because a lot of them use it.
Absolutely.
Yep, okay, thank you. That's all.
Anything else? Please call the roll.
Lowe,
Yes.
McLaughlin. Yes. Fritz,
Yes,
Manetza.
Yes. Brings us to our first item of new business.
Item A, consideration by City Council of a resolution to approve and implement a deer management plan. The Sustainability and Energy Commission recommends approval, and administration recommends approval.
Can I get a motion?
So move.
Support?
Motion by McLaughlin, support by Lowe. Let's see. Ashley, would you like to introduce this?
Yes,
Or is there,
I'm happy to, and we
Okay.
have any number of our participating committee
I didn't
members
know
in
if you
the
had somebody
audience.
else you wanted to call on, but go ahead
Nope,
and start.
but they can be on standby for technical assistance. But yeah, going back, City Council adopted a forest management plan in 2022, which identified deer overpopulation as a threat to our overall forest health. Since that study, we've worked collaboratively with the Sustainability and Energy Commission through their subset, the Forest Management Subcommittee, conducting assessments and flyovers to confirm the suspected overpopulation. As part of our multifaceted approach and to protect the investment in treating of the tree diseases as well as our reforestation efforts, we are recommending implementing a deer management plan. As recommended in your packet, the resolution would administratively allow for an annual cull based on guidance and licensing from the DNR, considering ecological conditions annually and in the amount not to exceed 40% or 50 individual deer annually, whichever is a lesser number. And it also lays out within that resolution a number of different reporting and public engagement or public transparency efforts that we would look to implement annually as well. So I'm happy to answer any questions.
Okay. Council members have comments and questions? Who'd like to start?
Sure, I will. As everyone knows, I'm absolutely in favor of this. I think actually you put together a great resolution. I think it covers everything that has to be covered. As I said before, I don't care if it's 78 deers or 780 deers, we have to take care of it. If we truly want to save our forest, we've spent an awful lot of money on the disease of the trees, and it would be an absolute waste not to complete the cycle, I guess. So I'm 100% behind this. I thank Gene and the whole committee for moving ahead with this. It took a long time, Gene. You and I sat down 3 years ago to start this process. But I want to thank you and thank everybody that was involved. It's a huge problem in this community, except for one other item that was on the agenda years ago. The 20 or 30 people that showed up at our last council meeting when we discussed this was the most we've ever had on one subject since I've been here. So it's obviously an important item in this city, and I think we have to do it. So I want to thank Gene again and thank Ashley for putting this together.
Thanks, Kevin. Mike?
me?
It's already going that way.
I did a little research and found out that the deer herd, because of the drought and everything, has had very little water to drink. The mites have been going in, making a disease on the deer and causing other, from what I've been reading. So you want to have a healthy deer herd if you're going to do it. That's what you want to have. And along with the drought that we've had, the deer has not been very, very healthy with it. But I'd like to propose also, along with this, is because we're talking about deforestation and having growth come back in that. And if we don't start taking care of the oak wilt better than we have, I'm sure we put some money into it, but the oak wilt and the woolly agendum and everything else, I'd like to propose at least matching $25,000 more to go into that program to help save those trees, because if we don't have them to drop the seeds down, we're not going to have a forest. No matter what you do with the deer or not, if you don't take care of that, we're not going to have that. So I'd like to add to that another $25,000 to it. That's what I would think would be a handy thing to go hand in hand along with the deer call and that. So I think that'd be the smart thing for us to do.
Is something like that in the budget?
We have about $175,000 currently in the budget to treat tree diseases, and on your agenda, with partnership with the Duncan Park Commission, another
Yeah, that's for
potentially
Duncan Park, though.
$85,000.
So
Looking at it holistically, yeah.
So we have money in the budget to handle it this year, and then next year's budget, if Mike wants to increase it, he surely can.
Correct.
Yeah.
I'd like to add to 25,000 now, to be honest with you, just to do it, because I think it's a good thing for us to do.
Already in the budget, Mike, I don't understand why you want to add more. It's already there.
He wants to basically double.
I want to extend it, get that into the forest more, that's what I want to do.
Okay.
Well,
Try and save what we can. If we need to be more aggressive. I'd like to be more aggressive on that also.
I guess that if we want to do that tonight, and I'd like to have a separate motion than this, because it's a budgetary adjustment. And the four of us could add something if we needed to for another action. And I think that should be a separate item than this, because it's a budget adjustment.
I just think that's a smart thing for us to do, is add more to it. I really think.
I'm not disagreeing, I'm just trying to figure procedurally where we go with this.
Your Honor, may I just jump in here?
Hold on a second.
All right, go ahead.
Right.
Oh, I would just
Okay.
like
We can
to,
talk.
wanna see if you wanna deal
because
with
I share Councilmember Fritz's concern about the oak wilt and the tree diseases, and I think we should do all we can for that. So I understand his concern, and I think there are, I think the message can be clear. I don't want that to confuse this here today, but I think anywhere we can aggressively go after that, because I'll go back to 2022. When we approved the forest management plan, there were 4 components of that, as I recall. And I can't remember all of them, but the first one was to aggressively go at treating the beech bark disease, the oak wilt, which is devastating, and the hemlock woolly algid. And we have, over the past 2 years, we've tried to carve it out of the budget. We've worked with Dr. Larry Burns and the Save Hemlock, and the Forest Management Plan Committee has done their best to try to raise some funds to aggressively go after that, and we have done that. There were other components of the plan, because if you recall, the experts told us that if we did everything in the plan, aggressively went after treating all those diseases, and did not address the overpopulation of deer, we would still lose our urban forest. And so the real question that we posed to the very smart people here in the audience, Jim Matthews, Gene Madden, and the rest of the team, was how do we do that and address the concerns of others about safety, what's going to happen after you kill the deer, how do we, and they have come up with a pretty amazing plan and a lot of detail, and spent countless hours coming up with a management system, so we as a community don't have to go through this again. They've put up guardrails, and I think they're appropriate guardrails to make sure that we're not excessive and that we don't get a little bit crazy here. Some of you may not know, they have looked into how to process the deer meat to address food insecurity issues in our region. They have thought of a lot of detail behind this, and I want to thank them for all the work, because I think they know at the beginning, I'm just not one that wanted to hurt the deer. And I'm sorry, I've got 2 dogs, I love all the animals, and this was like, but they've convinced me, and it's been an evidence-based decision. We're looking at science, we're looking at impact, and they've come up with a very reasonable plan. And I just wanted to explain that, because that's why I will be voting yes tonight. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, before we circle back to your budget adjustment, I'd like to say that I've always said that I'm interested in knowing what the data is and get some objective measurements as to what we have what we need to do about it, and use actual information to manage what we're going to do in the future. And I think we've got that now, and I find the numbers to be compelling. And I find that the knowledge that we have of the tree diseases and the pressure on our forest and the need for not maintaining the status quo, but trying to improve that, this is all very compelling to me, and I think that the plan that we have in front of us is somewhat restrained, but it's also measured, and it's very deliberate, and it's going to be something we can track over time. When Nick Claes was here from the DNR, he said to us that, this problems we have with the deer or with anything else in the natural world, they didn't happen overnight, they won't be fixed overnight. And so we're going to have to be a little bit patient, but we'll get there. We also want to be very deliberate about it. And I think we want to track ourselves and measure our progress. And so we're not going to, we're going to do a more gradual adjustment, a gradual change, but we will improve things. And I think that we'll be glad we did it this way as opposed to trying to take some drastic action and try for an immediate gratification of doing a whole bunch at once. So I think the plan lays that out, and it lays out ways to measure our progress. And to go back to what Nick had said too, was that we should be looking at what makes our forest healthy, what gives us a good quality of life, what's good for this community as a whole. I feel blessed to live in a place where I'm close to nature, where we can see wildlife, where we can see trees, where we can see all these things in our community. We don't have to go somewhere else for that. It's right here. And I don't want to lose that either. I think that's it's important for us to appreciate the animals, the trees, all this stuff as part of our urban setting. And so I think that makes Grand Haven very special. And for that reason, I appreciate that this resolution kind of lays things out in a way that we can work with that. So I'll be supporting this. I've never supported a deer cull before because I've always asked for convincing data. And in the past, we've had a lot of opinions and a lot of anecdotal information, but now we've got some actual data that we can work with, that we can measure how we go. So for those reasons, I'll be supporting this. My entire focus is on the health of our urban forest and the natural settings and the things that we cherish as part of this community. And I think that's the goal of all this. So that's my feeling on this. As far as budgeting more money, if we want to deal with a budget adjustment tonight, I'd like to make it a separate motion. And Maria, I believe that if all four of us agree to put this on the agenda at this point in time, we can do that. So let's do that after we dispose of this item. We can kind of insert this budget adjustment as a separate motion.
That's fine.
Okay? So any other comments on the deer management plan?
All I'm going to tell you is that people, please stop feeding them.
Oh, yes.
That's not a good sign.
Yes.
Everybody that's here knows that there's people out there that are still feeding them. And it's not good for them, it's not good for us, it's not good for our forest, it's not good at all. You can enjoy looking at them, but don't feed them. So,
Okay.
yeah, I'm in support. You're right, Bob, at least we got some data now we can work on, so.
All right, please call the roll.
McLaughlin,
Yes.
Lowe,
Yes.
Fritz,
Yes.
Manetza.
Yes. All right, because it's germane to the last issue, I would entertain a motion to insert an item between A and B to adjust the budget by $25,000 to increase our spending on oak wilt specifically, or just tree diseases?
What's that?
Oak wilt specifically, or just tree diseases?
Just to treat any diseases, we want to go toward that, what it goes for.
I will just say I prefer that the new council versus old two council members take that on at the next meeting rather than doing it in this meeting, just because we're going out. I feel like they need to make those budgetary trade-offs. I'm supportive of it, but I'm like, I don't,
Well,
I prefer us not doing that.
so are you making?
Is that a concern or for you, Mike?
I'd like to have it on there, but if you don't feel comfortable,
If you want to make the motion, we'll get a second and vote on it.
I'll make a motion on it.
Is there a second?
I'll second it for you, but if you really want us to do it, but I'd prefer to defer it to the new council.
I'm going to take that as a motion by Fritz, second by Lowe. And the motion is to,
Increase, $25,000 to increase for disease control for our forestation.
This motion is just to add it to the agenda, not necessarily to vote on it. It's, you gotta do it in
Oh,
two
first we have to
parts.
add it to the agenda.
all right.
All right.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so
So,
we're having a motion to
Yeah.
add this to the agenda.
and I seconded the motion to add
Okay.
it to the agenda, if that's what you want, Mike.
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Okay, so we have a motion
Get
to
it done.
modify our agenda by adding this item. Any questions on that motion? Just call the roll.
Fritz,
Yes.
Lowe,
Yes.
McLaughlin,
Yes.
Manetza.
Yes. All right, so now we have an agenda item. I believe it's the same wording we just discussed.
Yes.
Questions on that?
Need a motion and a second for that.
We make the motion.
I'd like to make a motion to add $25,000 for forestation of diseases for our forestation.
Is there a second?
Is that like, it's to move it from someplace else in the budget? Is that what you're saying?
Where are you going to get the money from? Where's
Yeah.
the transfer from?
This is what I'm a little concerned about talking about this on the
We
fly.
can't just grab money out of the air, so.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with the priority, and I know Dr. Burns is sitting on the edge of his seat right now, but I would respectfully request that we come back with a plan on where that allocation would come from within the budget to maintain a balanced budget.
So
I
could
just
we,
don't know.
could we then postpone action on this item? Well, we don't have a second. Is there a second?
To postpone?
No, on this motion. You made the motion, no one seconded
That's
it.
all.
So,
Can I make a motion then, if that doesn't
no,
get
you have to
seconded?
second that motion.
No, but,
Well,
okay.
it doesn't go anywhere if we don't second it.
Right, so can I make a new motion that we postpone the action on
Well, there's-
that until the next meeting?
Well, there's nothing to postpone because it hasn't been seconded.
We just put it on the agenda, didn't we?
Right.
Yes,
I called for
so-
a motion, it hasn't been seconded.
I'll second it.
Okay,
Just keep going.
there we go.
All right,
Holy
let's
smokes.
just get out.
All right, we got a motion by Fritz, second by McLaughlin. If somebody would like to postpone that, we could have a motion to postpone.
Make a motion to postpone.
I'll second that.
There we go.
Okay.
And we're postponing until,
Until
New
City
council
staff.
is selected.
Well, until,
the administration comes back with a plan.
that's a better answer.
Of where it
Postpone
can, where it
until
can come
administration
from.
brings back a
Yeah.
plan. All right, so motion to postpone, that was,
That sounds good.
who made the motion?
I did.
Okay.
And I seconded it.
Motion by Kevin, second by Karen to postpone. Would you please call the roll?
McLaughlin,
Yes.
Lowe,
Yes.
Fritz,
Yes.
Manetza.
Yes. Okay. So we'll get some information back from Ashley's office about where we might move that money from. And then we can take that motion up again at that time. All right, that brings us to our next item of new business.
It's consideration by City Council of a resolution to approve a 5-year contract renewal with HydroCorp of Troy, Michigan, in the budgeted amount of $241,360 for cross-connection inspection services. Administration recommends approval.
Can I get a motion?
So move.
Support?
Motion by McLaughlin, second by Lowe. Let's see, is this a Michael question?
Yes.
Mr. England?
Good evening. So we've been doing our professional services with HydroCorp for the past 9 years. Just asking tonight if we can continue the contract with them. A lot of people have met Jerry in our community over the last 9 years, but he knows who he is. He does an excellent job. Just asking tonight if we can continue that relationship with HydroCorp.
Okay. Anything changed in your arrangements, other than the prices?
The prices, we actually got really, really competitive prices from them. It just increases, I believe, by 3% over the 5 years.
Okay, any questions, comments?
No other bids?
No other bids. It's just a
Renewal.
contract renewal at this time, so.
I know it's last time was the same way. I just thought I'd ask. But, yeah. Thank you.
Okay, did you call the roll?
McLaughlin,
Yes.
Lowe,
Yes.
Fritz,
Yes?
Manetza.
Yes. Next item, please.
Consideration by City Council of a resolution to approve a contract amendment with Partial Tree Care of Traverse City, Michigan to treat Duncan Park in the not-to-exceed amount of $85,000 contingent upon approval from the Duncan Park Commission and authorize the mayor and city clerk to execute the necessary documents. Administration recommends approval.
Can I get a motion?
So moved?
Support?
Okay, motion by Fritz, second by Lowe. Michael, you're there again, so is Larry.
I am the city liaison for the Duncan Park Commission. Mayor, you were present at the last meeting. Georgette's here also. And Mike Port, I didn't see you sneak in, sorry. We kind of agreed, I guess that's not the word I'm looking for, kind of partnered up. Hopefully, the Duncan Park will pass a commission, or a motion to add on to the partial tree service that we already get for Oakville HWA and include them in our scope. So that way, all of the 200 acres of Duncan Park can be treated, a percentage of it. So it would be huge if that passes with them. So timing was an issue. So I felt it was a pretty good thing to have this on the agenda tonight. Larry, if you would like to say anything else?
Hi, welcome, Council. I'd welcome any questions you might have.
Tell us your name first.
Larry Burns, 509 Waverly, Assistant Director of Urban Forestry for the City of Grand Haven, 3 years, and 5 years on the project so far. I support the recommended transfer. I think that Partial does an excellent job. Its timing is of an essence. Ideally, we'd complete this treatment by the end of November. You want the treatment before we hit temperatures below 40 degrees so that the transfer of the product will be through the tree. It offers at least a minimum of a year. I've done a ton of work trying to figure out what's the best approach is, and the situation is dire, so I'd welcome questions if you have them.
So this is to extend our contract so that should the Duncan Park Board approve it, it can fall right underneath that and you can execute quickly.
That's
on
correct.
it. Okay.
Yes.
That's what I
And
understood it to
Partial's
be.
already doing the treatment for HWA
Right.
and Eagle Sale in.
Lake Forest Cemetery.
I wanted to just add parenthetically, we actually have accomplished 65% of the treatment in Lake Forest Cemetery as of this year, and we'll be at 51% for Mulligan's Hollow. I brought pictures and stuff like that, but the treatment thus far can show efficacy, so.
Do you see a problem with the commission not approving this?
I won't speak for them, but it seemed like there was some interest in it. More along the price tag that it comes with was the issue. So, but this at least gives them, if they want to treat right of way, they can do it, so. But Larry's been passionate about it. He's been on me since I took my position to help bridge the gap with Duncan Park, and I think we're making really good headway with this, and this would be huge if we could get this passed tonight.
Well, considering we have a couple of the
Yeah,
commission members
Georgette,
here,
Mike, you feel like speaking?
I would really hope that you would support this, because we've spent a lot of money at the city, and to leave
Mike
Duncan
Bort,
Park up makes no
400
sense.
Duncan Park, and part of the Duncan Park Commission. This did come to us in our last meeting, and it is a critical timing that's in there. The price is definitely a factor for Duncan Park Commission. We don't have a huge coffers, and what we do have basically funds our operating expenses for an ongoing year. So if we tap into that capital that we're pulling capital or our operating expenses out of, then we have less operating expenses. So that's certainly a concern to us, and we may have to look at some fundraising or something to go along with it. I don't think we've really hit the bottom of the whole proposal yet, as far as what would be treated, as far as, how much we can go with. We definitely support the fact that we need to do something, but we have to look for a little bit of ongoing support with funding of it. And I see the amount of 85,000, it doesn't say who pocket that's coming out of. And that's kind of the same point we were at with our last meeting. So that's where we're at. So I see support for it. I don't see it as a done deal yet.
Amazing.
Yeah,
All right,
because
well-
we're right next door at cemetery. We've been treating all our trees and stuff like that. And I'm pretty adamant about making sure that we save our forest. And that is part of the forest, and that's what part of the Duncan Park Board is supposed to maintain that forest in there. And having a chance of trying saving the hemlocks and the oaks and stuff like that, the long standing that we have here. If you leave an area vacant, it's just going to transfer off into what we're doing is we're just not going to ever get caught up. So the thing is, we want to make sure that we have all our forests taken care of. It's what we want to do. So if we start losing more trees, you're not going to have a forest in there because it's just going to stretch out. So we got to make sure we maintain everything.
We certainly definitely agree with all of that.
I know you do.
But there's many different ways to treat it as well. So do they have the best process to treat, and are they the most cost-effective for us, is yet to be determined. And we are on a time crunch, but no offense, they're on a time crunch because it's kind of temperature-driven,
Yes.
and it's November.
Oh, yeah.
So, and we all know that, when you're working with committees and stuff like that, things can't happen overnight. We meet once a month. It takes process to get through it. So even with all that being said, even if we signed a contract tomorrow, we're looking at temperatures that are going to fall below the point within a week. And that's questionable that maybe we need to look more at spring treatment than fall treatment or winter treatment as we're coming upon.
Okay. Well, we are trying to coordinate between the different processes here, and the city is taking a lead on this, and
Yep.
so we're looking for coordination and support so that we have a consistent answer on how to deal with this.
Yeah, we totally appreciate the support that we've been getting from the city, and we certainly are taking that into extreme consideration, but we're not quite ready to write that check.
Okay.
So,
All right, so
Get back to council discussion.
question for Michael or for Larry. Michael or Larry? The current amount that's being discussed, the 85,000, that's this year.
I'd like to address a couple of things. I think that
Well, just answer my question first.
Oh, see, I didn't understand your question.
That's what's being asked for immediately for this year, that there's future amounts that we'll have to follow up, and those may depend upon outcomes from this year's treatment. They
Yep.
may or may not be more, they may be less.
There's about 21,000 DBH in Duncan Park. About 10 to 20% of the trees are dead or dying right now, which drops us down. So we drop 4,200 DBH. That leaves us about 16. We can treat about 6,000 this year, which means we could complete the totality of what's currently alive in roughly 2.5 years. At that point, 100% of the trees have been treated. It's our hope that we'd come back and do spot treating, which is what we'd originally hoped to do based on the advice from Natalie Beacons, who was the current executive director of SISMA in 2023 when she made her presentation to the park at that point in time, and that was her recommendation. The city started treating in '24 per her recommendations, and again in '25. Unfortunately, that didn't happen in Duncan Park. I wanted to speak very briefly, if I could add a little to that. This recommendation is not pulled from the sky. This is directly out of a report that comes from the Michigan State Extension Pest and Diagnostic Lab. I sent samples just to confirm my own observations. The expert there writes and says, I want to read hers precisely. She specifically calls for the use of dinotefuran. And she calls for that particular insecticide because it's the only one that will actually kill both elongate scale and hemlock will they indulge it? Turns out that it actually will treat spruce spider mites as well. So we're getting 3 for the price of 1. It's about $12.40 per DBH. It's cost effective. At the meeting, well, I wanted to finish this by saying, I've had 3 different experts come, both James from Partial, Brett, who's the Michigan, and also Heidi Fry, who's the DNR representative who is responsible for 36,000 acres of parkland. I visited Muskegon State Park. They have lost to 200 and 300-year-old trees. And she walked through our park and she said, "Oh my God, you're so lucky." And I said, "We're lucky?" And she said, "Yes, you still have a chance. But within 3 years, these trees will all be dead." That's echoed by Brett, it's echoed by Partial. They all come to the same conclusion. So this is not, it's based on science.
I understand
and it's based
that.
on facts.
Larry, what about the temperature issue?
Pardon me?
What about the temperature issue?
Yeah, I can only trust James to call it, and we're doing the very best we can. We've been pushing for months to have this accomplished. If it drops below 40, then we cannot proceed, and we'll have to delay till the spring. My hope was to expedite this and do it the very best we could with as much as we could.
Okay, and when you say the temps, are you talking about overnight lows, daytime highs, the average, or what?
I think that it's sustained. So it's an overnight low. If we have temperatures during the day that would amount that it's 12 hours post-injection for the transfer through the bark, and then it takes 4 to 6 days for the full translocation within the tree. And then protection has been delivered.
Okay. All right, thanks.
My pleasure.
Sir, the floor isn't open to the audience.
Right, this is.
Yeah, we have specific questions for specific
Yeah.
people. That's our prerogative. I got you. Okay. Okay, anything else? Because the issue before us is to extend
I'd like
this
to make
contract.
I'd like to make a few
Yeah,
comments.
go ahead.
Yeah. As I understand this resolution, yeah, it's not to exceed, and it is contingent upon the approval of the Duncan Park Commission. So I see no reason why we wouldn't pass this evening. But I would like to emphasize, I think all of you that have listened tonight understand how seriously we need to take the survival of our urban forest, and that it is in jeopardy. You've heard some of the comments, and we've been aggressively addressing this. This is something we need to do everywhere, not just in Lake Forest Cemetery and Mulligan's Hollow. And I'm happy that the Duncan Park Board also recognizes that need and is taking that up and dealing with that. And by the way, I don't have a job here. After that, I will help with some fundraising for Duncan Park. If that's what you need to get some done, sign me up, because we need to get the trees treated if we want our children and grandchildren to enjoy what we've joined. This is sort of a 5-alarm fire right now. Okay?
All done?
Yes.
Okay. Any other comments, questions? Just call the roll.
Fritz,
Yes.
Lowe,
Yes.
McLaughlin,
Yes.
Manetza.
Yes. All right, so then we'll pay close attention to the next Duncan Park meeting. And that brings us to the end of our new business. So it brings us to our report by City Council. Who would like to go first?
Yeah, I just want to give out a heartwarm thank you for Kevin and Karen both for being with me for 4 years here and all their hard work that they've done. I appreciate it a lot. There's a lot of times we were up and down on a lot of things, but you know what? That's what it's all about, and it came out to a good fruition. I just got to say thank you so very much for all you guys have done. I really appreciate it a lot. I do.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Mike.
Go ahead.
I have to thank my better half, Liz Pell. She's here in the audience. She stood beside me for the last 4 years and frankly talked me off the deep end on more than one occasion. And she made sure that I didn't hit send any quicker than I did. So from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank you for that. Okay, I'm good.
Thanks, Kevin. Karen?
Yeah, I have a couple things to say, too. Honestly, I can honestly say to you that I think serving on council was a personally very rewarding experience. That doesn't mean there wasn't some really tough times. I thought I made a big mistake for 6 months, and the first year or so really was very, very long. But I can say these last 2 years have been very enjoyable, functioning as a council, not always agreeing with one another, but being able to discuss, move on, and get things done. And I look at how far we've come, and I feel like the reasons why I came to council, we're leaving it, Kevin and I are leaving it in better shape than when we inherited it. And that's, so it's time to go and let others step up and take over. But I would also like to thank my better half. People say success in life, 90% of that is about marrying the right person. I think I married the right person. There's also a corollary to that, and it's like, as a council member, 90% of that is having the right city manager, and I think a lot of our success has been in getting the right people in the right roles in her leadership. So I want to thank her for that. I want to thank Mayor Bob for his excellent facilitation of these meetings, and really hearing everybody out. And I think we got to the right decision. We represented you all, and we kind of moved forward as we did. And that said, I want to say a couple things about the election, or actually about tomorrow, Election Day, because your vote does matter. There's two important things on the ballot. There's the public safety millage, and there's city council openings. Public safety millage, Chief Nicole Hudson and her leadership team, along with our city manager, have spent a lot of time, open houses, information sessions, showing up at the farmers market. I think I saw that they were at D&W this weekend. They've got a website. They've got information out there. If you don't understand what the millage is about, I'm going to sum it up for you by saying that the millage, it boils down to this: it's the health and safety of the officers who keep us safe. Grand Haven has an incredible Department of Public Safety where our officers are cross-trained in police, law enforcement, but also in fire safety and suppression, basic life support, advanced water and ice rescue. Our officers deserve your time and thoughtful consideration of this millage, so please get out and vote. It's going to have an effect on the future of our public safety, so it's very, very important. The other thing that I get questions about is the city council elections. Believe it or not, people are like, wait, I heard there's a lot of it uncontested. I don't know who's running against who. I'm going to simplify it for you. You see Councilmember Fritz there. He's not going to be on the ballot. He's got 2 more years on his term, so we have him. You don't have to worry about who you're voting for. Mayor Bob Manetza is running unopposed, uncontested, so thankfully, we're going to have him for another 2 years. Similarly, Planning Commissioner Mike Dora is running unopposed for this seat next to me, the remaining 2 years in Ryan Cummins' term. So what you're really going to decide tomorrow is who is going to take the place of Kevin and I on City Council. And there's 3 candidates. There's Dennis Scott, and I don't see Denny here tonight, but he was at the last meeting. Denny is a familiar name. He served 3 consecutive terms on City Council from 2009 to 2021. Prior to that, he worked for 36 years in the city's Department of Public Works. So I want to thank him publicly for his willingness to return once again and serve. Another candidate is Erin Lyon. Erin, are you here? You're waving. Oh, Erin, there she is. She's a familiar name in the community as well, maybe a lot more for philanthropy and volunteer work, but Erin holds an undergraduate degree in finance and postgraduate degrees in business administration and tax law. But most of us know her as a local business owner and entrepreneur, first for Jumpin' Java and then founding the 501c3 Kenzie's Bee Cafe. So Erin, thank you for stepping up and for your willingness to serve. And then there's Sarah Callio. Sarah and her husband Larry, who are both in the audience, have called Grand Haven home for the last 25 years. They've raised 2 daughters here, and she most recently served on the Musical Fountain Committee. Although she holds an undergraduate degree in engineering from Michigan State, she's spent 15 years helping small businesses with marketing, design, and web services. And fun fact, she's also a published author. Sarah, thank you for stepping up and your willingness to serve. I want to thank all 3 because you know what? a willingness to serve in public office always should be celebrated, and I wish them all luck. The election tomorrow, again, will determine which two of those three candidates will replace Kevin and I on council. So please get out and vote. Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you, Karen. I'd like to say also, thank you to Kevin and Karen for your service, for anytime somebody's willing to stand before the voters, to take on the responsibilities of council, to do the work, the homework, attend the meetings, sometimes take the thank yous and congratulations to the public, and often as not, it's less positive, but it all is part of the process, and anyone who's willing to do that deserves a lot of respect. So thank you for stepping up and doing these things, and for the commitment to the community and to the public service, and we're all in a better place because of it, so appreciate that. I would also like to emphasize the election tomorrow. If you're not sure what's going on with the election, make sure you know before you vote. And there's been plenty of information put out there. And make sure you do vote. Don't let somebody else make your decisions for you. So I think that's always critical. And on that note, I'll turn it over to City Manager.
All I wanted to add is just that it's been a privilege and a pleasure to work with both of you, Kevin and Karen. We've navigated any number of challenging issues over the last handful of years, all for the betterment of the city. Down to your last meeting even, my ad didn't spare you from that. But it just can't express enough gratitude for all you've done to support myself, my team, and the community. And we're going to miss you. So thank you.
Thank you.
All right. On that note, it brings us to our second call to the audience. So all of you who have hung around, I'm sure you all wanted to come say something. So at this time, members of the audience may address council on any item, whether in the agenda or not. Please give us your name and address. You have 3 minutes to speak. Won't respond at this time, but step on up.
Jim Hagan, 400 Lake. What I'd like to talk about is whether the city has a dangerous tree ordinance. I think everybody's aware we had a major power outage a few weeks back. I think it was 1,163 people were without, or not people, but meters were without power, and that included our Mercy went out, and I assume and also Corwell. Now, they've got emergency generators, so apparently they popped right back on. But this problem is dead trees on Grand Avenue, off of Crescent, on private properties, and we've had 2 of them now within the last year that have fallen and taken out the electrical. This last outage, we had probably 10 to 12 city employees and almost that many trucks and cranes, bucket trucks, everything, in order to get that electricity back on. I looked through the ordinances, searched them, and I didn't see anything where we have anything on dangerous trees. I really do think we need a dangerous tree ordinance where if they're on private property and they can fall on public roads or public utilities, that the city is able to issue citations for removal, and if not done, the city will remove them and put the money on the taxes. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Mike Dora, 501 Fryan Street, Grand Haven, Michigan. I would like to offer my sincere thanks to both Kevin and Karen for the time that you have spent. I've got to know both of you well over many of the years and appreciate your insights. As Kevin has stated, it is a position that is not done alone. Having been there, I can honestly tell you, it takes a family. It takes a significant other to share the sacrifices that you make and your time spent with your families and things that you want to do. We've all heard everyone has thanked you, for your service. I also would like to thank Liz and Mike and the McLaughlin and Lowe families as well. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Mike. Who else?
Shawnee Poppy, Executive Director, DDA, Grand Haven Main Street. I just wanted to say thank you as well to both of you. You've both been really great in my first 2 years in this role and have inspired me and given me great feedback and have been very encouraging. And so thank you for your service and your time and your support of everything that we're doing at DDA. Appreciate it. You're welcome.
Thanks, Shandy.
Anyone else?
Ryan Cotton, 515 Park Avenue in Grand Haven. I'm also on the Sustainability and Energy Commission, and I want to thank this group for determining that you needed a SEC and creating one. And as you know, we've been active and we have more to do now. So I'm on the Forestry Subcommittee and especially the Reforestation Pillar. I'm in charge of that. So given some of the action tonight, we can really get started. I do want to let you know that in addition to saving Grand Haven's forests, an urban tree canopy is also important, street trees. And 40% is one of the goals that nationally is talked about now. And yet we really don't know what our tree canopy percentage is. So we really don't know how close we are to that. And it's good for environmental reasons, those climate reasons, beautification, all number of reasons to make sure you have the right urban canopy. So I just wanted you to know that our next SEC meeting next week will be talking about the need for a tree inventory. And that's going to cost money. Securing the grants is something that many of us have done. At City of Warren, I just last year secured their grant for their tree inventory and a microforest. So I intend to volunteer to assist in that activity here as well. So more to follow on that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, Jean Madden, 1625 Gladys. And there's so much to be thankful tonight. I'm just so touched, and I want to thank Jim Matthews and Tom and Roger, who were on the Deer Management Pillar. Hundreds of hours of work and thought, and for your smart questions and challenges to us throughout the process. So we got better and we got smarter. And I appreciate all of you for what you do and what you give to this community. And I'm so excited to watch our forest come raging back to life. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Can I do that?
Jesus, what do
You may do that.
Oh, I get to do it. All right.
Okay.
You and Sharon now.
Are we all done here?
Yeah.
Okay. We are adjourned.
Kevin?
Yeah, you whack it too.
Oh, you gotta have smack it up.
I didn't say break it.